Husha, the book of Hosea. The word of Yahuah that came to Husha, bond of Ba'ari, in the days of Uzziyahu, Yatham, Ahaz, and Haskayahu, sovereigns of Yehudah, and in the days of Yarubam, bond of Yoash, sovereign of Yasharal. The beginning of the word of Yahuah with Husha. And Yahuah said to Husha, Go, take yourself a woman of Horan, and children of Horan, for the land has utterly whored away from Yahuah. So he went and took Gomer, daughter of Deblaim, and she conceived and bore him a bond. And Yahuah said to him, Call his name Yazrael, for in a little while I shall revenge the bloodshed of Yazrael on the house of Yahuah, and put an end to the reign of the house of Yasharal. And it shall be in that day that I shall break the bow of Yasharal in the valley of Yazrael. And she conceived again, and bore a daughter. And he said to him, Call her name La Ruhamah, for no longer do I have compassion on the house of Yasharal, so as to forgive them at all. But I shall have compassion on the house of Yehudah, and save them by Yahuah their Eluah, and not save them by bow, or by sword, or battle, by horses, or horsemen. And she weaned La Ruhamah, and conceived and bore a bond. Then he said, Call his name La Ami, for you are not my people, and I am not for you. Yet the number of the children of Yasharal shall be as the sand of the sea, which is not measured nor counted. And it shall be in the place where it was said to them, You are not my people. They shall be called, You are the Banim of the living all. And the children of Yehudah and the children of Yasharal shall be gathered together, and appoint for themselves one head, and shall come up out of the earth. For great is the day of Yasharal. Say to your brothers, O my people, and to your sisters, O compassionate ones, strive with your mother, strive, for she is not my wife, nor am I her husband. Let her put away her horns from her face, and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked, and shall establish her as on the day she was born, and shall make her like a wilderness, and shall appoint her like a dry land, and shall put her to death with thirst. And I shall not have compassion on her children, for they are the children of whorings, for their mother has whored. She who conceived them has acted shamelessly. For she said,
I go after my lovers, who give me my bread and water, my wool and my linen, my oil and drink.
Therefore see, I am hedging up your way with thorns, and I shall wall her in, so that she does not find her paths. And she shall pursue her lovers, but not overtake them, and shall seek them, but not find them. Then she shall say,
Let me go and return to my first husband, for then it was better for me than now.
And she did not acknowledge that I gave her grain, and new wine, and oil, and increased her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. Therefore I shall turn back, and shall take my grain in its time, and my new wine in its season. And I shall take away my wool, and my linen covering her nakedness. And now I shall uncover her shame before the eyes of her lovers, and no one shall deliver her from my hand. And I shall cause all her rejoicing, her feasts, her new moons, and her Shabbatut, even all her appointed times, to cease, and lay waste her vines and her fig trees, of which she has said,
These are my rewards that my lovers have given me.
And I shall make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. And I shall punish her for the days of the Baals, to which she burned incense, and adorned herself with her rings and jewelry, and went after her lovers, and forgot me, declares Yahuah. Therefore, see, I am alluring her, and shall lead her into the wilderness, and shall speak to her heart, and give to her vineyards from there, and the valley of Achor as a door of expectation. And there she shall respond as in the days of her youth, as in the day when she came up from the land of Mitzrayim. And it shall be in that day, declares Yahuah, that you call me my husband, and no longer call me my Baal. And I shall remove the names of the Baals from her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. And in that day I shall make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the birds of the Shamayim, and with the creeping creatures of the ground. When bow and sword and battle I break from the earth, and I shall make them lie down in safety. And I shall take you as a bride unto me forever, and take you as a bride unto me in righteousness, and in right ruling, in kindness, and compassion. And I shall take you as a bride unto me in trustworthiness, and you shall know Yahuah. And it shall be in that day that I answer, declares Yahuah, that I answered the Shamayim, and they answered the earth. And the earth answered the grain, and the new wine, and the oil, and they answered Yasra'al. And I shall sow her for myself in the earth, and I shall have compassion on her who had not obtained compassion. And I shall say to those who were not my people, you are my people, while they say, my Alu. Then Yahuah said to me, go again, love a woman loved by a friend, and an adulteress, according to the love of Yahuah for the children of Yasharal, though they are turned into other mighty ones, and love their raisin cakes. So I bought her for myself for 15 pieces of silver, and a lethek of barley. And I said to her, you are to remain with me many days. You are not to whore, nor become any man's. And so I shall also be towards you. For many days the children of Yasharal are to remain without king, and without prince, and without slaughtering, and without pillar, and without shoulder garments or house idols. Afterward, the children of Yasharal shall return, and seek Yahuah their Elu, and Daoud their sovereign, and revere Yahuah and his goodness in the latter days. Hear the word of Yahuah, you children of Yasharal. For Yahuah has a case against the inhabitants of the land. For there is no truth or kindness or knowledge of HallaluYah in the land. Swearing and lying and murdering and stealing and committing adultery have increased, and bloodshed follows bloodshed. Therefore the land mourns, and everyone living there languishes, with the beasts of the field and the birds of the Shamayim, and the fish of the sea are taken away. However, let no one strive or reprove another, for your people are like striving with a kaham, and you shall stumble in the day, and the Nabi shall also stumble with you in the night, and I shall make your mother perish. My people have perished for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I reject you from being kaham from me. Since you have forgotten the Torah of your HallaluYah, I also forget your children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. My esteem they have changed into shame. They eat the sin of my people, and lift up their desire to their wickedness. And it shall be, like people, like kaham, and I shall punish them for their ways, and reward them for their deeds. And they shall eat, but not be satisfied. They shall hoard, but not increase, for they have stopped obeying Yahuah. Whoring and wine, and new wine enslaved the heart. My people ask from their wood, and their staff declares to them. For a ruach of whorings has led them astray, and they went whoring from under their HallaluYah. They slaughter on the mountaintops, and burn incense on the hills, under oak and poplars and terebinth, because its shade is good. Therefore your daughters commit whoring, and your brides commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoring, nor your brides when they commit adultery. For they go aside with whores, and offer with cult prostitutes. A people that do not understand, thrust down. Though you are a whore, Yasharal, let not Yehudah become guilty. Do not come up to Gilgal, nor go up to Bath Awen, nor swear an oath, saying, As Yahuah lives. For Yasharal is stubborn, like a stubborn calf. Will Yahuah now feed them like a lamb in a broad place? Ephraim is joined to idols. Let them alone. Their drink is sour. They have whored continually. Her rulers wildly love shame. A wind has bound her up in his wings, and they are ashamed because of their slaughterers. Hear this, O Kohanim, and listen, O house of Yasharal. Give ear, O house of the king, for the judgment is for you. For you have been a snare to Maspah, and a net spread on Tabor, and they have made deep the pits of Shittim, so I will prove them all. I have known Ephraim, and Yasharal has not been hidden from me. For now, O Ephraim, you have whored. Yasharal is defiled. Their deeds do not allow them to turn back to their HallaluYah. For the ruach of whorings is among them, and they do not know Yahuah. And the excellency of Yasharal shall witness to his face. And Yasharal and Ephraim stumble in their wickedness. Yehudah shall also stumble with them. With their flocks and herds they go to seek Yahuah, but do not find him. He has withdrawn from them. They have acted treacherously against Yahuah, for they have brought forth strange children. Now a new moon shall devour them with their portions. Blow the ram's horn in Gabah, the trumpet in Ramah. Shout, O Beth Awen. Behind you, O Banyamin. Ephraim is laid waste in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Yasharal, I shall make known what is certain. The chiefs of Yehudah shall be like those who remove a border. On them I pour out my wrath like water. Ephraim is oppressed, crushed in judgment, because he walked after the command when it pleased him. So I am to Ephraim like a moth, and to the house of Yehudah like rottenness. When Ephraim saw his sickness, and Yehudah saw his wound, then Ephraim went to Asher, and sent to King Yahuah, but he is unable to heal you, or to remove the wound from you. For I am like a lion to Ephraim, and like a young lion to the house of Yehudah. I myself tear them and go. I take them away, and there is no one to deliver. I shall go, I shall return to my place, until they confess their guilt and seek my face. In their distress diligently search for me.
Come, and let us turn back to Yahuah. For he has torn, but he heals us. He has stricken, but he binds us up. After 2 days, he shall revive us. On the 3rd day, he shall raise us up, so that we live before him. So let us know. Let us pursue to know Yahuah. His going forth is as certain as the morning, and he comes to us like the rain, like the latter rain watering the earth.
Ephraim, what would I do with you? Yehudah, what would I do with you? For your trustworthiness is like a morning cloud, and like the early dew it goes away. Therefore I have whom by the Nabi'im, I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and my right rulings break forth as the light. For I delight in kindness and not slaughtering, and in the knowledge of HallaluYah more than burnt offerings. But like Adam, they transgressed the covenant. There they acted treacherously against me. Gilad is a city of workers of wickedness, tracked up with blood, and as bands of robbers lie in wait for a man. So the company of Kohanim murder on the way to Shechem, for they have done wickedness. I have seen a horrible matter in the house of Yasharal. The whoring of Ephraim is there. Yasharal is defiled. Also, a harvest is appointed for you, O Yehudah, when I turn back the captivity of my people. Whenever I will heal Yasharal, then the wickedness of Ephraim is uncovered, and the evil deeds of Shamarum. For they have wrought falsehood, and a thief comes in. A band of robbers raids outside, and they do not say to their hearts, Did I remember all their evil? Now their own deeds have surrounded them. They have been before me. With their evil they make a king glad, and rulers with their lies. All of them are adulterers, as an oven heated by a baker, who ceases stirring the fire after kneading the dough, until it is leavened. In the day of our king, rulers became sick, inflamed with wine. He extended his hand with scoffers. For they have drawn near, their hearts is like an oven. While they lie in wait all night, their baker sleeps. In the morning it burns like a flaming fire. All of them are as hot as an oven, and they consume their rulers. All their kings have fallen. Not one among them calls on me. Ephraim mixes himself among the peoples. Ephraim has become a cake unturned. Strangers have devoured his strength, but he does not know it. Gray hairs are also sprinkled on him, and he does not know it. And the excellency of Yasharal witnessed to his face. But they did not return to Yahuah, their Lord, nor did they seek him for all this. And Ephraim has become a simple dove without heart. They have called on Masraim. They have gone to Asher. When they go, I spread my nets over them. I bring them down like the birds of the Shamayim. I chastise them so their congregation hears. Woe to them, for they have strayed from me. Destruction to them, because they have transgressed against me. And I myself have ransomed them, yet they have spoken falsehoods against me, and did not cry out to me with their hearts when they wailed upon their beds. For grain and new wine they assemble themselves. They turn away from me, and I instructed. I strengthened their arms, but they plot evil against me. They return, but not to the Most High. They have been like a slack bow. Their rulers fall by the sword for the cursings of their tongue. This is their scorn in the land of Masraim. Put the ram's horn to your mouth, like an eagle against the house of Yahuah, because they have transgressed my covenant, and they have rebelled against my Torah. They cry out to me, Ma'alu, we, Yasharal, know you. Yasharal has rejected what is good. An enemy pursues him. They have made kings, but not from me. They have made rulers, and I have not known. From their silver and gold they made idols for themselves, so that they are cut off. O Shamarum, your calf has been cast off. My wrath has burned against them. How long shall they be incapable of innocence? For from Yasharal is even this, a workman made it, and it is not Elul. For the calf of Shamarun is splinters. For they sow the wind, and reap the whirlwind. The stalk has no bud, it yields no grain. If it yields, strangers swallow it up. Yasharal has been swallowed up. They have now become among the nations, as a vessel in which is no pleasure. For they themselves have gone up to Asher. A wild donkey alone by itself is Ephraim. They have hired lovers. Also, although they sold themselves among the nations, this time I shall gather them, when they have suffered for a while from the burden of a king, of rulers. Since Ephraim has made many altars for sin, they have been altars for sinning to him. I have written for him numerous matters of my Torah. They were regarded as strange. As for my offerings, they slaughter flesh, and they eat. Yahuah shall not accept them. Now he remembers their wickedness, and punishes their sins. Let them return to Masraim. For Yasharal has forgotten his maker, and has built palaces, and Yehudah has increased walled cities. But I shall send fire upon his cities, and it shall devour his strongholds. O Yasharal, do not rejoice with exaltation like the peoples, for you have whored from your allure. You have loved a love feast at all threshing floors. Threshing floor and wine press shall not feed them. and new wine shall fail in her. They shall not dwell in the land of Yahuah, but Ephraim shall return to Mizraim, and eat uncleanness in Ashur. They do not pour wine offerings to Yahuah, nor are their offerings pleasing to him. It being like bread of mourners to them, all who eat it are defiled. For their bread is for their life, it does not come into the house of Yahuah. What do you do for the appointed meeting, and in the day of the festival of Yahuah? For look, they shall go because of destruction. Mizraim gathers them up. Moth buries them. Nettles possess their valuables of silver. Thorns are in their tents. The days of punishment have come. The days of retribution have come. Yasharal knows. The Nabi is a fool. The man of the Ruach is mad. Because of the greatness of your wickedness, and great is the enmity. Elua's watchman over you, Ephraim, is the Nabi, but a trapper snares in all his ways. Enmity is in the house of his Eluah. They have deeply corrupted themselves, as in the days of Gabah. He remembers their wickedness. He punishes their sins. I found Yasharal like grapes in the wilderness. I saw your fathers as the first fruits on the fig tree in its beginning. They themselves have gone to Baal Peor and separated themselves to shame, and became as abominable at that which they loved. Ephraim is like a bird. Their esteem has flown away. No birth, and none with child, and no conception. Though they bring up their children, I shall make them childless, without man. For it is woe to them when I turn away from them. I have seen Ephraim like soil, planted in a pleasant place. But Ephraim shall bring out his children to the murderer. Give them, O Yahuah, give what? Give them a miscarrying womb and dry breasts. All their evil is in Gilgal, for there I have hated them. Because of the evil of their deeds, I drive them from my house. No more do I love them. All their rulers are rebels. Ephraim has been smitten. Their root has dried up. They yield no fruit, even if they bear children. I shall put to death the precious ones of their womb. My Eluah rejects them, because they have not obeyed him, so that they become wanderers among the Gentiles. Yasharal is a degenerate vine. He brings forth fruits for himself. As his fruits increased, he increased the altars. And the better his land, the better they made the pillars. Their hearts has been slippery. Now they are guilty. He breaks down their altars. He destroys their pillars. For now they say, we have no king, because we did not revere Yahuah. What would the king do for us? They have spoken words, swearing falsely and making a covenant. Therefore judgment shall spring up like poisonous weeds in the furrows of the field. The inhabitants of Shamarun fear because of the calf of Bath Awin, for its people shall mourn for it, as well as its priests who used to rejoice over it. Because of its esteem they have departed from it. It is also brought to Ashur as a present for King Yarab. Ephraim received shame, and Yasharal is put to shame through his counsel. Shamarun is cut off. Her king is like a twig on the surface of the water. In the high places of Awin, the sin of Yasharal shall be destroyed. Thorn and thistle come up on their altars, and they shall say to the mountains, cover us, and to the hills, fall on us. O Yasharal, you have sinned from the days of Gabah. There they stood. The battle in Gabah against the children of perversity did not overtake them. When I desired, then I bind them, and people shall be gathered against them when I bind them for their double guilt. And Ephraim is a trained heifer, loving to thresh grain. But I myself shall pass over her comely neck. I put Ephraim to the yoke. Yehudah plows, Yaakov harrows for him. Sow for yourselves righteousness. Reap according to kindness. Break up your tillable ground. It is time to seek Yahuah till he comes and rains righteousness on you. You have plowed wickedness. You have reaped unrighteousness. You have eaten the fruits of lying, because you trusted in your own way, in your many mighty men. An uproar shall arise among your people, and all your strongholds shall be ravished, as Shalman ravished Bath-arbal in the day of battle, and mother dashed in pieces on her children. Thus it shall be done to you, O Bathal, because of the evil of your wickedness. At dawn, the king of Yasharal is completely cut off.
When Yasharal was a child, I loved him, and out of Masraim I called my bond. They called to them, so they went from their face. They slaughtered to the Baals, and burned incense to carved images. And I taught Ephraim to walk, taking them by their arms, but they did not know that I healed them. I drew them with ropes of man, with cords of love. And I was to them as those who take the yoke from their neck. And I bent down, fed them. No. Let him return to the land of Masraim.
And let Ashur be his king, because they refuse to repent. And the sword shall whirl in his cities, and it shall demolish his gate bars, and consume, because of their own counsels. My people are bent towards backsliding from me. Though they call to the Most High, he lifts none of them up. How could I give you up, Ephraim? How could I hand you over, Yasharal? How could I make you like Admah? How could I place you like Sabuim? My heart turns within me. All my compassion is kindled. I shall not let the heat of my wrath burn. I shall not turn to destroy Ephraim, for I am all and not man, the Kadosh one in your midst, and I shall not come in enmity. Let them follow Yahuah. Like a lion he roars. When he roars, then Banim shall tremble from the west. They shall tremble like a bird from Masraim, and like a dove from the land of Ashur. And I shall let them dwell in their own houses, declares Yahuah. Ephraim has surrounded me with lying, and the house of Yasharal with deceit. But Yehudah is still wandering with all, and is true to the Kadosh. Ephraim is feeding on wind and pursuing the east wind. All the day he increases falsehood and ruin. And they make a covenant with Ashur, and oil is sent to Masraim. And Yahuah has a controversy with Yehudah, to punish Yaakov according to his ways, to repay him according to his deeds, He took his brother by the heel in the womb, and in his strength he strove with HallaluYah. He strove with the Moloch and overcame. He wept and sought his favor. He found him in Bethel, and there he spoke to us. Even Yahuah, HallaluYah of hosts, Yahuah is his remembrance. Therefore, return to your HallaluYah. Guard kindness and right ruling, and wait on your HallaluYah continually. A merchant, in his hand are scales of deceit. He loved to oppress. And Ephraim says,
Indeed, I have become rich. I have found wealth for myself. In all my labors, they shall find in me no wickedness that is sin.
but I am Yahuah, your HallaluYah, since the land of Ephraim. Again, I shall make you dwell in tents, as in the days of the appointed time. And I have spoken to the Nabiim, and have increased visions. And through the Nabiim I gave parables. Is Gilad wicked? Certainly, they have been false. In Gilgal they have offered bulls. Also their altars are as heaps on a plowed field. And when Yaakov fled to the country of Aram, Yasharal served for a wife, and for a wife he kept watch. And by a Nabi, Yahuah brought Yasharal out of Mitzrayim, and by a Nabi he was watched over. Ephraim has provoked most bitterly, so his master left his blood guilt on him, and repaid him for his reproach. When Ephraim spoke, there was trembling. He was lifted up in Yasharal, but through Baal he became guilty, and he died. And now they sin more and more, and make for themselves molded images from their silver, idols according to their skill, all of them the work of a craftsman. They say of them,
Let the men who slaughter kiss the calves.
Therefore they shall be like a morning cloud, and like dew that goes away early, like chaff blown off from a threshing floor, and like smoke from a window. But I am Yahuah, your HallaluYah, since the land of Mitzrayim. And in HallaluYah besides me you shall not know, for there is no Savior besides me. I knew you in the wilderness, in the land of drought. When they were fed, they were satisfied. They were satisfied and their heart was exalted. Therefore they forgot me. So I became like a lion to them. Like a leopard I watched by the way. Like a bear robbed of her young, I attacked them and ripped open the enclosure of their heart. And there I devoured them like a lion. A wild beast tears them apart. You have destroyed yourself, O Yasharal, but your help is in me. Where is your king now to save you in all your cities, and your rulers of whom you said, Give me a king and rulers? I gave you a king in my displeasure, but I took away in my wrath. The wickedness of Ephraim is bound up, his sin is hidden. Pains of a woman in labor shall come upon him. He is not a wise bond, for it is not the time that he should delay at the breaking forth of children. From the power of the grave I ransomed them. From death I redeemed them. Where is your plague, O death? Where is your destruction, O grave? Repentance is hidden from my eyes, though he bears fruit among his brothers. An east wind comes, a wind from Yahuah comes up from the wilderness, and it dries up his fountain, and his spring becomes dry. It plunders a treasure of all desirable objects. Shamarun is held guilty, for she has rebelled against her Halal. They shall fall by the sword. Their infants are dashed in pieces, and their pregnant women ripped open. O Yasharal, return to Yahuah your Halal, for you have stumbled by your wickedness. Take words with you, and return to Yahuah. Say to him, take away all wickedness, and accept what is good, and we render the bulls of our lips. Ashur does not save us. We do not ride on horses, nor ever again do we say to the work of our hands, our mighty ones. For the fatherless finds compassion in you. I shall heal their backsliding. I shall love them spontaneously, for my displeasure has turned away from him. I shall be like the dew to Yasharal. He shall blossom like the lily, and cast out his roots like Lebanon. His branches shall spread, and his splendor shall be like an olive tree, and his fragrance like Lebanon. Those who dwell under his shadow shall return. They shall revive like grain, and blossom like the vine, and become as fragrant as the wine of Lebanon. What more has Ephraim to do with idols? It is I who answer, and look after him. I am like a green cypress tree. Your fruit comes from me. Who is wise and understands these, discerning and knows them? For the ways of Yahuah are straight, and the righteous walk in them, but the transgressors stumble in them.